it's a really pleasure to be here. I mean, always, you know, it's about the ambience of the places that it's really important. Always, it's really, I don't know, maybe because I have some history here that is important that I will tell you later. But this conference, it's the first time that I do. And then we will have a lot of some problems with the images, but I think we could resolve with your imagination, you know. And I could explain better the images in my poor English, but I will try. But I just think this conference for the students more than others, and I call more or less 1 year or 1 year more or less. And it was because I was in a conference by Eduardo Soto de Moura in Mantova 1 year ago, more or less, and it was so beautiful because he explained what he was doing at that moment on his office. But just saying on my desk, I don't remember, 14 projects, and I would like to describe them. And on the description, you could find the ideas of architecture. He didn't speak about solutions. He spoke about problems, and that is really beautiful. And I copy this idea, not exactly, for this conference, you know. And I will try to explain you what I did in this year. More or less 1 year, more or less more than 1 year. It's a time. For me, right now, or maybe in this last year, the architecture began to be more than an activity, more than a profession, you know. And it is an activity to not be tired, bored, and to have a real happiness to doing the things, you know. And because that, I will show you what happened in my office. We are 5 people, no more than these, and sometimes we are in 6, but normally we are in 5. And I will show you, for example, 2 workshops that I do the last year. I think it's important for your experience here that some people told me it was really hard. And I will show you some projects that I will visit the site area, I mean on construction, that it was a real hard work in an office, in a normal office, and in a small office it's really hard too, more. And I will show you some project default, really lost it, you know, some project that I do for years and years, and at the end, the client, or I lost contest, and the client said no more. And I will show you some project that it is start to build in the next month, and at the end, some project that are on the desk. I mean, there are just a lot of projects. You will not see real construction at the end, but I think it will be really a real illustration of what I could do it in Chile. And that is my challenge at this moment, to show you what you could do it in some places, because the beautiful of the architecture is that you could do it really different things depend where you are. And for this, the profession is really open, you know. And there's not one architecture. There are too many because it's really open. They are not the best. There are many best, and that is really important for me to understand, like an activity and like an open activity. The other things that is really important for me, it's today I visit the D house by CISA. The first time, no, I just do it once before in 1992 when I was just architect, you know, 1 year, the first year of architect. And I made my round trip just looking just visiting the beautiful buildings by Sisa at that moment, and I visit the tea house, and I just take a glass of water because it's too expensive for me at that moment, but I want to go in, and then it was a real great experience at that moment. And I said, oh, I will return back to just to take lunch and to sit, and that was today, and I'm really happy for that, because I could do it, that's at the end. And but I think I don't know, it was when you find on the street to meet an old girlfriend, you could mean a girlfriend that you have in, I don't know, 20 years, you could not see her. Sometimes you feel really bad because they think, and you, her, and everybody change a lot, and you could not expect that kind of things. But for the other way, I always feel a certain kind of complicity with, and that was with the tea house. I said, oh, this tea house is part of my history, When I was a student, I said this, and right now I just began. And I think today I thought maybe the architect is just to get some complicity with the surroundings, complicity with the project, complicity with the people, and maybe a really good, architecture is the architecture that could create this complicity with someone. And then I could say this tea house is my tea house in the sense that it's part of my own history. If we could do it that in the construction, we are really successful, I think. You will really, it's not something about figure out or to do really beautiful things. It's just to say, okay, let's go to do something that could have some complicity with the surroundings, with you, with your own history. And then I could say, I will show you two workshops at the beginning. The first one is it's about this complicity with Chile, I always try to sell Chile because I love it, but to sell Chile like my vision of. And I did a workshop in Santiago the last semester with a student of a master, and it was really complicated because I was working with around a book. The name is The Invention of Chile. And it's so beautiful because this book, it's a resume of many history of people who write about Chile, many in different centuries, not just contemporary, really old ones and new ones, I mean poets, novels, writers, etc. And if you read the book, you feel, oh, this is Chile, this is the atmosphere, you could get it, And at the end, you could not understand what the name of the invention of Chile. But the name is because the people who write there never put a feet in Chile. They write because they listen something about Chile, and they write this text, but without visiting Chile, never. And that is so beautiful because it's an invention. An invention of this faraway land, And this faraway land, this end of the earth, is still there, And then I proposed to the student to produce some illustration. They have to do it in the semester, just two things: an illustration and a video. But an illustration is just a moment of conviction, when you draw something or when you invent something, but you say, oh, this is real. But this illustration, I could say, I don't want to call this workshop, but it wasn't, but the university asked me to put a workshop because they want more money, That if I say it's just it's just a lesson, no, they want to have a real complex studio, but it's not. It's something really, really simple. But there are two things: the illustration and at the end a video. And the illustration is a moment of conviction that the student have to create. you know, that, like Massimo Scolari or the Bruegel, the old Bruegel with the pavilion, and sorry, and we give to the students the samples and it was really beautiful because it's something in between reality and false. You know, we gave them places, for example, but they have to invent something around these places, and then we want to build a book that the people could go that places, but they never find it because the places doesn't exist, but they reconstruct, and we put some address, and the people want to have to a guide of this, like a touristic guide, but if they go to the places, they find some details of, but never the total. And then it's a reply of the invention of Chile. And we made it, for example, this map. This map is the real Chile. It's not just you know, the flat long line that everybody know. It's the real one. You know, we have problems in Chile about the earthquake because we have this sea really deep, I mean 7,000 deep, and we have the Cordillera 7,000 high. You know? And this difference of higher, it's the problem of Chile. And then the student just designed for one semester this map, and they design all of the how do you say, levels and everything. One of the map is part of the where's the here. One of the okay. You know this part. All of this is the sea. And it's so incredible because they must draw in the map from the NASA drawings that they could get it, and they draw in all the terrain. And Chile, you could see more or less the Chile. But the beautiful things here is not about geopolitical Chile, it's about geographical, that we have, that is really important, you know? Okay, this is the sea. You have 7,000 deep here and 7,000 high here. Here is the Cordillera, and this is and that was an interpretation. But the levels are changed. We exaggerate some distance. We use some images of Super Studio to recreate some structure that you could find in Chile, like a new landscape. Or we use this poor circus family to draw in a football game the map of the circus. Just to say the circus always choose to be the football soccer. Or we made and research about the homeless routine that it is explicit here. And then if you see the scale of the research are really different. Or we explain the Patagonia when the hunting kills the giant Patagonia people here, like with the picture, the fresco by Mantegna in Padova, and we explain all of changes of the terrain in there. These have to have an explanation what is wrong or what is happening in the territory of Chile. Or maybe we use Noso plan in Greece to explain fair in Chile with the same language. Or we use some illustration of the Modena cemetery by Aldo Rossi in Modena to explain our cemetery in Chile. That you could not see it so good, but it's the cemetery. And then second workshop. You will see some other videos later, you know, but this is the second workshop that I did in ETH with Christian Querez. Christian Querez invited me to do a workshop together last semester, and was really exciting. And I proposed him to do something about Burda magazine. Maybe the young people doesn't know that, but Burda magazine is Burda the fashion, you know. And my mom, for example, made a lot of clothes and garments from these kind of patterns, you know. In this pattern, you could find more than 100 clothes, but you have to go ahead with the lines, and you have to keep by yourself some instructions, you know, and then you have part of the garments here. And this is so beautiful because in this pattern, you have a field of interpretation, because you have in a flat field, you have 100 three-dimensional objects: skirt, pants, shirt, etc. And I said to Christian, this is a field that we could interpret in three big themes. One is a garment, the second one is a hidden space, and the third one is a park. And we made we did the workshop in that way, you know. And this video was the explanation of the workshop.
Borda. Borda means from the Latin language: tosco, rough, grosero, rude, sin, delicadeza, lacking tact. Tela borda, a crude material. Mentira borda, a crude lie. Borda is the name of a German fashion magazine. Thanks to its simple instructions on how to use and cut sewing patterns, anyone can take an insignificant piece of cloth and recreate coherent and durable three-dimensional structures, like a dress, a shirt, or a pair of pants. The charm of this plan lies in the possibility of it becoming a field of interpretation and knowledge. Enrique Morales gave his students an exercise called How to Lay Out a Croissant. The result is a plan that captures part of the final shape of the croissant. No one can use these measurements to build a croissant. It lacks information. The real shape is lost among the cross-sections, and the structure disappears in the drawings. This is the same plan that would be used to measure a train car or a building. But this is how a baker builds a croissant in a kitchen architecture. Perhaps with this simple cutout pattern and some instructions we could build a croissant, but always something else. The shape of the pattern has little or nothing to do with the shape of the final object. It has to do with the construction process. The patterns and their instructions not only tell us of the production methods, accompanied by measurements and materials, they can tell us of the complete nature of the object. A pattern is the 3D reality of an object, flattened out onto a sheet of paper. Its effect is similar to that of the analytical cubism in the photograph by Hockney. A refuge. A flattened refuge. This is the pattern of the hand of a giant designed by sculptor Max Stryker. Its shape is a wrapping around a hand made out of masking tape, and flattened by cutting it with scissors. The cuts to the hand of the giant by Stryker follow the lines of the hand, achieving changes with natural shapes like the lines of the hands drawn by Eduardo Chillida. There can be many different patterns to achieve the same effect. The important thing is that the instructions must be correct. If they are not, we may only attain a deformed reality. And what we want is to attain a new informed reality. What would the pattern of another hand be like? Like that of a cheap blow-up doll. essentially made from the same materials as the hand by Stryker, plastic and air. The shape of this plan would necessarily look similar to the one developed by Art Farm for an instantaneous refuge, rough, practical and effective, like the blow-up doll. This example helps us understand that the two-dimensional plan of a sewing pattern exhaustively tells the story of the nature of the final object it models. It is a construction tools. What does it construct? But to wear clothes is to wrap up warm, to envelop, hide, support, create imaginations. For Michael Webb it is also to bring together and to isolate.
This was the presentation of the workshop. The Swiss student was really afraid about it. I mean, what is going on? But at the end, the answer was really beautiful because we did a garment, we did a hidden space, we built in it, scale by one, and I will show some samples. This is the first one. I mean, we call the pink dead because the guys choose some of these forms and put some in the inside of this form some figures of women and men, and then it's this. A girl go inside of this bag of pink bag of PVC, and the student take out the oxygen inside, you know, and it's appeared this figure, and the sensation was a really dead one. But the important thing is of this exercise was how I could change the possibilities of one simple things, and then how I could change the structure. For example, in this sample, the student used just in the negative way the patterns of the Burda patterns, and appear this kind of dress, really beautiful at the end. Or maybe it's the selection of the point create these kind of things. Or maybe change it where you stitching and looks like this. This was 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe, and the second exercise was a hidden space. A hidden space is a space which inside of another one and have to be hidden. And we want to build with ephemeral materials and was a lot of problem because in Switzerland everything it's prohibited and dangerous, you know, and you could not do anything. And then after 2 weeks, the student asked me what we could do it. I mean, because the fire committee or the security committee doesn't want to, we work in that way, and they have to do it illegal, you know, everything. For example, this example was underground on the climatization rooms, and they put some volumes of mylar, and you could pass through like a labyrinth of things, you know. And the sensation of this fragile construction with the structure was really beautiful. And this was in Zurich because it was built in Elio, and you could go inside of in this point, and you could go inside, and this is just hanging of this bubble of Elio on the top. And or, for example, this is a hidden space where you are not hidden inside of something, just your test, just your head. And, but inside there is humidity, and you feel real light, real another kind of atmosphere, and then you feel real inside of another world. At the same time, we choose to do a park, and a park, a Burda park we call, but it's something in the middle of a building and a park. It's not just, and it's just to think how we could express our relation with the nature at the end. And we have these samples, it was working with the Piranesi engines, or this sample was with the sugar model. This is just sugar, just really beautiful, like a landscape in vertical. And this was the last one. Well, it's a mushrooms landscape, and it was the model made in just with mushrooms, you know. And you have this surrealist. Then this is a real picture. It's not a render. But this is the machine that create that. He put some humidity here and go up, and then this is a real mushrooms landscape. This is a real scale of the landscape that he wants to create, and etc. With these two projects, two workshops, I tried to research about what's mean architecture, and I like to make the idea of to just research, not to build, not try to do something real, because the real will be later for me, will be real later because it's not really important. And the other things that we made some exhibition, and the last one was this May 2000, and it was an exhibition that we call Bestiary. Alejandro Lüer is my modelist. He made all of my models, physical models. It's just by hand, without computer, and we prepared this exhibition that we did in Gallery Ma in Tokyo, in Zagreb, in Czechoslovakia, in Chile, and this it's about my bestiary. It's about all of my projects. Mean the last one from 2010 to this time, and this is one project that I will show you. This is we call the Dead at Home. It's a small chapel. You know, this is the theater that I will show you later. And these, some drawings. Serpentine Gallery, room 2 is a small house. The house for the poem. And this, at the end, we have this family of objects. All of them. I always do a conference with this exhibition that explain the relation in between them. There are real projects and there are objects that never will be built. This is my last one, was made for Gallery Ma. It's a Kipwi. The name is my first tower. You know, it's the tower that I will never build. But I will do a video with this doll that the name is Kipwi, fighting with Godzilla. And then, but I could not do it at that time. I have to do it. The another exhibition that we are going to have will be in September. It's about Enrique Miralles. It's really important for me to have a relation with some architects that I really admire, and that I did some contacts with the Miralles Foundation, with the Benedetta Tagliabue, and I said I would like to show the Inestable, the table by Enrique Miralles. We work a lot. We built the table. It's the third version of the table that you could find around the world, and we are gonna build. We are gonna exhibit it in Chile. And for me, this is my way to have a relation with the students, just doing exhibition and just giving them some information that they could not get it from for the digital models, etc. And we received this beautiful drawing, made it by hand by Enrique Miralles, and we made a research about this building. For me, it's a building because there are many parts of the drawings that they are not really exactly like it was building it, and then we have to choose some ideas, but at the end we just build. This is the real one. This is the table that we produce in Chile. The name of the exhibition will be Inestable, made in Chile, and this is the table. It's so beautiful. It's really incredible. And I really feel that just the materiality could give you the real sensation of the things. The other things, it's just talking about. It's just to think about. But the materiality, you don't need to think. And the third, that is really beautiful for me. The third exhibition that we are gonna did will be in May of '68 in the ETH school institute in Zurich. With Hans Ulrich. It will be really beautiful. The name will be, the name is Cloud 68. It's about radical architecture. It will be, we have a collection of radical architecture from the 52 to 74. And we are going to bring this just European architecture, drawings, lithograph, engines, you know, many engines, many some models that we have in Chile, and we bring to Europe again, and we are going to make this exhibition in April '68. They will be just papers on a cloud, and Hans Ulrich will give us the voices of the people who was in that time, at that time. Then we are going to have voices on paper of the Situationism, Constant, and about Superstudio, Archizoom, Archigram, or Utopie from France, more or less 300 pieces, 250 pieces of different Buckminster Fuller, etc. And this small collection will be here, and then will come again to Chile to show in Chile. Because we talked today with other guys that for me the important is to bring architecture to Chile, not to export the Chilean architecture outside. Because everybody think that you could travel around the world and it's really easy to do. But in Chile, we have more or less 40 school of architects, just middle class students. And these students could not go far away. they could maintain. And then my opportunity is to bring architecture in Chile. And this architecture is just paper. And the paper for this kind of architect was really important because they don't build so much. And I think will be so beautiful, the exhibition, and you must go, you know, you must go there, and because for you it should be easy. Then the other activity that we have in our studio is the site visit. At this moment we are building 3 things, and these occupy a lot of time of us, you know. Overall, at the beginning was really terrible because I spent too much time on the site. Right now, they are just finished, but I spend a little bit less, you know. The first is the theater that maybe you know for the pictures. The theater of Teatro Regional del Biobío is the name. It's a real simple project, but I like too much 2 aspects. It's a big box of a frame of wood and more than concrete and wood. It's a real classical, you know, plan. It's not really important, but it's a hidden theater. You have an structure of concrete, and you hidden the interior of this space just with 1 layer of PVC. And this was for 2 reasons, because we want to bring to the people the weird spaces and the strangeness from the beginning. Not when you arrive to the room that will be the performance. We want the building to appear like a performance like themselves. And with that, we want to lose the sensation of we are in an institution, you know, in a real theater. And then we cover this with a membrane of PTFE all around it, just 1 layer without double facade, etc. And we made a big circus at the end. This is the section. And this is the section, you know, this is the membrane that they start to put it in the next month, this one. And you have all of these spaces just with just all of the spaces of circulation and the whole, all of this just with this, you know, and just with 1 layer of PVC. That is really different, the contact that you have with the exterior and with the weather. You really have a fragile, big, fragile construction in the sense of you are on weathering, and that I feel it's really, will be really wonderful. And the second thing is really beautiful, that this building doesn't have foundation. If you see, this slab have 35 to 50 centimeters of wide, not more than this, but there are no more foundation than this. And then the building, because we are just near to the river, and this was this building was built in the middle of the center of the earthquake of 2010, 8.8. And we resolved everything with this lightness, pillars, columns, and beams. But the real foundation is here, in the first floor, that you will see now. This is the plastic. This I love the plan of the engineering, you know. This is the slab, the foundation slab. It's just 30 centimeters of just metal. And that is, I mean, the graphic of this, if you see really close, is so beautiful. This is the mock-up 1 by 1 that we made on site before to start. And this is the building 1 month and a half ago. This project coming from 2012 that we won an international contest and still they are working. I think will be finished at the beginning of 2018. I think the scale of the volume, the square meters are 10,000 square meters, but the volume is really, really big, and because we want to have a relation with the river more than with the city. I think we will be really successful. I mean, the other project that we're visiting near from there is the Boca Sur. It's a civic center for the neighborhoods, the more dangerous neighborhood that exists in Chile. It's really heavy to go there. When I go there to visit the site, you have to go with people there because it's really, really dangerous. And we made a real, for me it's a real beautiful, but we made this in 2009 and still they are working on it. And it's really simple. It's more or less, this was the idea of the colors of everything. But this is the plan is really incredible. This is a fire building. I mean, how do you say? Fire, yeah. It's for the fire people that could stop the fire. How do you say that? A fire station. I don't know how to say, but it's a building will be red. You know, it's concrete, and this will be red. Here we have some rooms for the community. Here we put just because we need to close this space, we put two big walls here and here. You know, this wall will be, all of these will be brown, and this will be brown. And this wall will have a graffiti all around, that in the neighborhoods it's really easy. The people do this kind of thing, and I'm going to have a field of soccer, and then a games for children. And we made these big ramps to go a building that will be here, but they don't have money and they're gonna never build, you know, this. And gonna be really beautiful because it's just a piece of nothing, you know. It's just for in case of the people, and looks really, really beautiful on the landscape because it's really stupid, you know. It's just a trip around, and the people who is here could see the soccer or other kind of games and could control the children, etc. And we have here a big steps who go to nowhere because it's for nothing too. But at the end is what happened with the public space. The people use the furniture, use the steps of the church, etc., in another way, always different that you proposed it, you know. And this is the project right now, just 1 week ago. This is the ramp. You could do this, and this here will be a stair, and that's it. This is the red building. Will be absolutely red and really crude concrete. These are some walls for a fair of vegetables that they sold. They sold vegetables and many other kind of things. Oh, it's not too good. This is a graffiti. Here the people will write a politic graffiti. All of this. This is more or less 80 meters. And here we are going to have the fair. Here. With one membrane all around this. Here we have a theater, or where the young people go there just to talking or something. And that is the space. To be inside is really beautiful, I think. This is a house that we are just finished, but I will show you just two pictures. It's the most beautiful part of the sea that you could find. Looks like Greece, but it's Chile. It's incredible. This bay is absolutely incredible. But these three projects occupy a lot of time in my office, you know. There are some projects that I could not do it. For example, this is a part of the bottom of the Japanese foundation that it will be part of my project of the mestizo that was built in many years ago, maybe 10 years ago. And I tried to do this. This is a hall for event, you know. And I create big beams. The beams have more than 120 meters each one. And this is the project. And the thing is, these projects have, in between of these things, more or less, it's about 28 meters, more or less. But these beams are really unstable on the space. And you will have this landscape of these big beams. The beautiful is just a structure, the idea of the structure. For this, but this will never be built. We spent 2 years and they asked us, they will not do it, you know. And this is the structure. The beams is here, and the beams move around the space and go ahead with this angle to arrive to this place. And it's really beautiful because the beams is really stressed and then it's more structural because they don't in a static way. And then when the earthquake coming, it's really resistant. And it's when you do it the same with a paper, it's more or less. But at the end, the space is like this. You could have some tables and events and people walking around this room. This is other project that we won the second prize. It's a clip project, you know. We got a clip and we moved the clip on the space just in two versions. One is one version is a rotation. It's a one model of the clip is you could not see really good, but it's a rotation. And the other one it's a clip who go ahead. I mean, it's not a rotation. It's advance in the space. And this the plan, etc. And we won the second prize. It's just a lamp in the landscape in the middle of the desert. We have this lamp here, and it was really bad. We create this lamp in the middle of the road. It looks like a rune of steel, and all of this lamp will be just by night, and by day you will see just this chaotic spectacle. We won the second prize, but I was so happy because my wife won the first prize with this beautiful stone, you know, and then everything is in family, you know. That's what's really good. And it's really beautiful. I mean, this is 5 meters of bronze in the middle of the road. Okay. The other project that I never will be built is the project for the Bayer Foundation that maybe you know. My scheme was this. This was the plastic, the model of that. And after it was more cool like this. But at the end, it was really, you know, the problem of the place. I will explain you really easy. You have one park here and another park here. The pavilion of piano is here, and you have to colligate. And my idea was really stupid. I mean, to have a box of wood on the top, and to have a really big structure, like really, you know, no really fine. It's really strong, you know. It's more than strong that I could build again. And then the project will be here, and here was a domestic park, and here was a park that was more for public. And we made, this was our relation with the park, just jumping the problem. Well, this is the program that I will not show you because it's too much. But I understand this was my first time that I built something I tried to build something in Europe, you know. And it was so funny because I understand that you build always in Swiss two buildings, one inside to protect you and one outside to protect you from the outside. And to have two buildings, one inside of the other, give you, I don't know, too much opportunities, I think, at the end. And it's the opposite that I will show you in a project in Lima. And this was our plan. And this is one part, and this was all of this was designed, and all of the stone path through, and we want to get out this kind of not get out, how do you say, to eliminate the real building from the first floor, and I do in this way. The box there, the box from the behind, and from the landscape, and this was on time. And then the structure is huge beams, and I love this kind of sensation of a room. You know, it's more than an old building, more than something really new. With some canals here, it's the slab, the ceiling is like it's a wave that you move it. And you have this ambience that you don't know if you are inside or outside, but not because the transparency is because the inside is strong like an infrastructure that you could find outside. This is the roof. This is the room of the exhibition. We don't want these rooms real. How do I explain you? Real, cool and white and everything. We want something with texture that the people who go there have to put attention on how the room is giving you. It's stainless on the top. On the tops, north light, and here just nuts good. And it's absolutely the opposite of the Lima. In Lima and Peru, I am start to build a house for a client who has 1,500 pieces of these. This is a ceramic from Peru, like this size. It's really more or less 90 centimeters. They are really, really big in a beautiful, with these beautiful colors, The beautiful for me in Lima that they don't need insulation and they don't need impermeabilization, and when they put the windows they put separated because they don't have the problem with the exterior and interior, and then you could do it a really primitive construction. And then I take some images of these and I start to work with in the house. The idea of and the other ideas is coming for the surroundings is the idea, this is a small house, but looks like really, really huge, And then the idea of monumentality is really important in this project because I have a problem in the side that I will show you. And the other thing is the idea of the shadow and the idea of the boxes and platforms. They need just these for live, These plus shadow, and that's it. They don't need more. And the side is this. The client called before me 5 architects to do a house, and he wanted a house of 400 square meters. And the first architect that came with him made a house of 1,200 square meters. And my client said, I don't need 1,200 square meters. And she said, okay, let's go do it less surface, but start to build. And my client started to build and made these 2 big holes, in the middle of the beach. And it was terrible for the neighborhoods. But at the end, the house, this architect could not reduce the square meters and arrived on 800 square meters. And then my client said no. And for years and years, with other 4 architects, the holes, these big holes, still there, And when I started to work with him, I said, okay, let's go to fill the holes, you know. We want to put something on the holes. You don't need to do another things. And then I do a house on the holes, 2 houses, but my house is 250 square meters. It's really small, but it doesn't look. And then this is a process. There are no insulation, there are no impermeabilization, there are no frame of window. It's really open house. And then here you could see the holes that I have still there, you know. I have to put some earth here because it's still there. The holes are really, really big for my house. My house is so small. And then we made 2 boxes, 2 patios, one here and one here. You arrive here with the car and go down there. And this is one patio, it's a studio for him. And this is the other patio, is another patio with a living room here. And then you go down, all the way from outside, never from inside. And you have one room here and one room here. It's really easy to understand the problem, and it's really, and the shape is like this. Always the sensation is to be protected for the neighborhood, because there you never know what is going to happen. It's like these images, you know, it's the same images that I could find in the museum before. Is to try to have small boxes, just look in the landscape, like this thing. And this is the section, you know, it's just a slab of colivers, I don't know. It's bamboo, black concrete, all of this is black concrete, crude bamboo, and a slab of 5 centimeters of concrete over the bamboo, and that's it. And this is the house on the landscape. The sensation is about, you don't have a scale. You don't mean here you have 2 meters, 15 centimeters. It's really slow, but the bedrooms are more bigger, and you have a shadow with the small membranes, and then here is one patio and the other patio is there. This house will be start to building in the next semester. This is the interior from the inside. I always try to protect the client, to give him or her the real calm life, and that is a big challenge, you know. And this is the bamboo, and it's no. And here we have a swimming pool, but it's 2 by 140, but the deep is more or less 3.5 meters. And then you will go inside, and you will never touch the floor, and then you will feel a little bit uncomfortable. But I think it will be great. I don't know. And this is one of my. I always do pieces of you know, this object. The name is grifo. But I want to show you this and one project that it was opening 1.5 years ago, because I want to show you for me it's really important that I am not really a creative person, in the sense that I could not, you know, create a new language. It's really impossible. Some few people could do it, you know. You could not pretend in that. For that, I just glue some objects. And with this glue, I try to create a new reality. And then these objects are always some exercise to prove this method to do the things. And this is the name of this dialectic image, you know. But this is an object that I would like to pretend to build in the reality. For example, the Serpentine Gallery appear. Or coming from one of these objects that I never tried to. I did just for a game, just because I was tired and bored, and then say, oh, let's go to do something in 2010. Well, in 2014 arrived Julia Payton and said me, oh, let's go to do it the Serpentine. And at the end, we arrived to this object that I never thought that someone really crazy want to build in it. And I created a lot of this object because I would like to build in the idea of this one. And then here you have the same idea. You have a neoclassical facade. I mean, neoclassical mean it's a fake one. It's a real fake because this facade coming from 1940 and it was just for sale apartment inside of this, and that it was destroyed. And inside we put a black room for dance and performance and experimental dance, performance happening, that kind of things, and a small theater. And on the top, the local government said we could not build anything, and I said, okay, let's go to put a circus because the circus is not a permanent structure, and then it's not a real building. And we put that, and it was really beautiful because the circus is still there, like a, you know, for me it's the image of Teatro del Mondo, de Aldo Rossi. It's more or less the same idea to have this image inside. And at the end you have a neoclassical facade, a real contemporary room inside, really darkness, and on the top you have this circus. You have the most primitive structure that you could imagine, and inside you have a contemporary structure. And this dialogue in between, it's really beautiful, and it's really proposing to you a new kind of sensation of the space. And at the end, this is the interior space, all of painted black, crude concrete. Oh, that is important. We not design a circus. We bought, you know. We don't want to be architects for everything. We just bought the circus and that's it. We put on the top of the building. I think it's something really made. This is the access. This is the room, the black room. This is 30 by 30. It's a small room, quite big for the performance happening. And everything inside is, you could move it. But it's not it's not a real innocent space. It's a space that is really strong. And the people who do something inside have to know what they're gonna do. The space proposal. And this is the stairs who go up. And then this is the circus in the terrace. And this is a circus on the city. It's beautiful because it's a real installation inside of in the middle of the downtown. The same strategy was with this house that I will build in next September. I start to build. This is the Prisma house by Shinohara. It's one of the most beautiful houses of Shinohara. Shinohara shows always this picture that suggests a cube, and this section, you know, and these pictures that suggest this is one space, you know, but he never showed this space, and the real cube is here, but this is addition, you know. I just copy the house, not. I'm saying I'm trying to copy. I'm not trying to interpret or anything. I try to copy this space and to put in relation of other things, you know. And to try, I copy the 750 meters here and 750 meters, but I copy the intention of Shinohara, means to try to rescue the main whole of this room and the structure, the symbolic structure that he has in the interior, and at the same time, that is more important for me, the lightness of the house. But at the end, I rescued this, and I built this. I built this, but I put in relation with this house, that was one of my first house, that I copy this structure, and take out all of the other, and I copy this and put together with these two Prisma house with Shinohara. This was my house, and I put both together in a real beautiful terrace. It's just seeing a beautiful volcano, and this is the real landscape. This is full of trees, you know, and this is just a tin of, there are no insulation. It's really a real crude architecture. It's really a dry one. This is the landscape. This is a structure. And this will be built in next September. Okay, this is a project that will be happening in 2 months. It's the base is this project, this sensation between this and this. A client came to me and to said, okay, I would like something handmade, like the Serpentine Gallery, really handmade, that you feel the materiality of that, but I would like something lightness, to have a show for 900 people, but the show events, it's the duration of the show, it's 8 minutes. 8 minutes, and then you have to make a structure. It's about 900 or 1,000 square meters for 8 minutes, and indoor. And then I say, okay, let's go to try something. And the real idea was to rescue the materiality of these things, you know. And but at the end, I use this. I offer to the client to do something stitching. We are going to use a parachute membrane fabric. A parachute fabric. It's a silk. It looks like silk. It's really, really beautiful. And we are just going to stitch it, not glue in between them, just stitching in a big company. And we are going to, I prove some way to stitching. Will be like this, more than this. This was a reinforced that we are going to do in some places, you know, but it will be like this. And I think the sensation of silk will be so beautiful. But the problem is the shape. I was really afraid about the interior space, because the interior space that they proposed me, that was really ugly, but so ugly, it's so strong. And then I would like to disappear inside of this volume. And then I create a bubble of this membrane. And I lost a lot of, you know, a lot of time, more or less one month and a half, just trying to not go inside with the structure, with this. And we made a lot of plans. This is the plan, and this is the plan. And then when you go inside of the bubble, you just have the sensation you are in another kind of world. But 1 week ago, I feel this strategy was really stupid. Because why I have to design for 1 month and a half some shape, and the event came in 8 minutes. There's something that is not really, you know, it's not a coincidence. It's something that is not really smart. And we spent a lot of time trying to do the stitching, try to just fabricate these, and to evitate to keep out the structure of the place. And we arrived to this shape that is really beautiful. It's like an art sculpture. I love this shape, but I feel this shape is stupid, because we use the technology, but to be really contemporaneous right now is to jump the technology, is to use the common sense. And the common sense said you could not design for 1 month and a half a building that you are going to use in 8 minutes, you know. And the common sense, we arrive here, we have the plans, we have the pattern, the Burda pattern, the pattern that they have to cut it, everything. And after that, I start to think again. And I said, okay, let's go to do a bag, just simple like a bag, 2 flat plane, and then blow up. And that's it. And I don't care about the shape, I don't care about the structure, because the shape will be modified because the structure, existing structure. And this is easy to build, easy to understand, easy to, and the shape at the end and the atmosphere inside of the project will be more or less the same, but more weird, that I like too much. And then we made this, just a Cyclock, model, and we say, okay, let's go to put the columns inside, and the column will do it like this, and the shape will be really, really okay. And this is the maps. It's really simple, because with the engineer was really afraid, because they have to calculate so much about the other shape. But with this, they say, oh, it's real simple, and they don't know, they don't have to calculate anything, just the pressure of the ambience, of the interior ambience. And this is the section, and this is the section with the columns, and that's it. This is the plan, and this is the model, and this is the project. And we're going to put 4 entrances here, and that's it. And here we are at the end. I built a bag for 900 people who has to go inside, and it's really beautiful. Will be really beautiful to see the people inside of this bag of silk. And this will be the last project that I will show you. That the place is between Zaragoza and Barcelona, Matarranya. It's a solo houses place. And here you could see the house by Pezzo, the other children's architects. And the client said me he wants to do it on a hotel. And I present this project, this concept, 4 days ago, and he was really happy about it. And I think will be built in the next year. But this is the landscape. It's a hill, the top of the hill, and you could see this beautiful forest of pine and olives there, and the landscape is really incredible. But again, I will not try to understand. It's a hotel, but I will not try to understand an hotel like a real one. I mean, not like a volume or like a system of bedrooms. I mean, I would like to understand the hotel like a urban space, in the sense that an urban space which has a real special relation with the nature. This village close the really important of this, that close the people to the surroundings. The surroundings are really, and this is not the relation that we have with the nature right now. We have another kind of relation. And this is the relation that they propose, to have a closed space. It's really different from this, that it's an open space, really naked and free, And then my project is more near than this, but using the same language of this. And then this mix in between, it could be a really beautiful project. And then we this was the project. And there are no shape yet, and it is not important. The project will be, a slab of concrete, black concrete, of 30 centimeters. That it was suspended more or less 40 centimeters than the floor. Never touch the nature. Just walking, just you walk around. And in this slab that have more than 150 meters longer, you have 30 rooms. But the rooms are a little bit, have something, a condition that it's really important for me, because the rooms are concrete cylinder, really shining, but the important structure is not the concrete, it's the glass. Over this, these rooms have a 6-meter diameter, but the glass is outside of this diameter. It's just covering the perimeter of this room, and this is because I need to create a distance, impossible proximity with the nature and with the people who go there, to have a enclosed hidden space into a transparent space, to keep to the client and to people who visit this building a sensation of distance, but at the same time a sensation of proximity. These some esquisses, and this was the plastic. This was one of the models. This is the slab. You know, there are really different shapes or forms on plants because it doesn't matter. And then you put the rooms on the top. And when you put the rooms, you have these glasses, but the beautiful of the glasses that I could show you in the other, and the plants, I think. Let me show you. Here's the plant. You know, the rooms, and some of these, they are just glasses. I mean, inside of these, there's the nature. Some of other, there will be just some fire. Here will be some air, just air, nothing. And here is just forest, you know. And in the middle of this landscape, you will just find these glasses on. And the real structure is the slab that move around the landscape, but at the same time, you have these glasses on. And sometimes the glasses capture human body here, and sometimes capture nature, another capture just sculptures or air or nothing, you know. And it's the hotel will be like this. Here you have the glasses on, you know, the volumes, you know, really opaque. And here will be cinema, outside cinema, and this is the landscape around. This will be the aspect of the rooms. It's in between cabin, rooms, or hotel. It's something hybrid, you know? And the beautiful of the slab that permit you to be in a real urban space, but at the same time with a proximity with the nature, and that is really important for everything. And this is the landscape of the project at the end, and you have this beautiful view. I think will be like the candles in the middle of the landscape, and will be. I think we'll be okay. I mean, I'm happy. Oh, thank you so much.